What's going on, guys? I have been waiting to do this video for quite a long time, and that is to put cab lights on my 17 L5P. You also notice there's a 2020 L5P. This is our farm truck, and it is actually going to be getting cab lights as well, just not in this video. We're going to do a test run on this truck first, and then we'll get this one done here in the next week or two as well. So just to back up for a minute, I obviously have a very good relationship with Boost Auto Parts already. I have their M1 illuminated steps on the truck, as well as their turn signals, sequential switchback turn signals in the mirrors of this truck. I had their mirrors on my LB7 as well. I've always had really good experience with them, right? They were good quality, they have great installation videos, and had no problems with their products so far. So when they came out with their S-Series cab lights, I got really excited about them. However, this truck did not come with cab lights, nor did this one here actually. And so they did not initially have a retrofit option for these trucks. However, they now have come out with retrofit options. Frankly, as soon as I possibly could, I snagged a set, and that's what we're gonna install on this truck and on the 2020 truck as well. So here's the product itself. Try to do a one-handed unboxing here real quick. So first of all, here is our retrofit kit, right? So we've got basically our retrofit harness, as well as the taps and that kind of stuff that we'll need, as well as the template, so that we can mark our cab to make sure we get those in the right place to get them an OEM placement, and the actual kit themselves. Also, we've got some little buddies, all kinds of them here in the shop. Anyway, so here's our lights themselves. We have our big main light, center light. I really love the strip more than the discrete points. I really love the strip. I really like that on the turn signals, and I really like it here as well. So we have our center light, and then our right and our left. And then our hardware comes in a nice package here. Everything looks to be good quality. I like the fact that I'm not going to have to just cut and splice wires here. Everything is going to just be plug and play. We're going to do a couple of fuse taps, not fuse taps, just wire taps in general. But there's no cutting and splicing at all here. This is all just good old-fashioned plug and play wiring, and that's why I was waiting for the retrofit kit, right? Because I could have, at the end of the day, I could have gotten their other kit and just made my own harness, and I've done that before, and that works totally fine. I've done that on 3 or 4 different trucks that I've had in the past. Worked totally fine. I'm getting to the point where I don't want to do that anymore. If there's a plug and play option, you bet I'm going to have it. Okay, so to get into the install itself, first off, I'm not going to do a step-by-step install here. Once again, these guys do fantastic install videos. So I'm not going to remake a video that they've already made. I will post the link for it, as well as a link for this product itself in the description below. But if you want a step-by-step installation video, they have it. It's very, very good. I followed it. That's exactly what I'm going to be doing here, is just by following what they're doing. So I will post that video in the description below. So take a second and check that out if you need to. Also, one other thing to notice on the truck real quick is that I actually did swap out the headlights. I don't think I like them that much. First of all, you can see the biggest difference here is that it has clear reflector lenses, and that's what I was going for. So I went ahead and switched those out to Morimoto LEDs. So they're switched back there, so they run white and they flash amber. So it just gets rid of all of the orange on the front of the truck, all the amber on the front of the truck. However, the housing itself is completely chrome versus having a little bit of black there, so it doesn't transition very nicely from the black of the grille to the chrome of the light. So for that reason alone, I don't really love them. So the best thing I could do is to take my OEM housings apart and put a clear reflector in them, or have someone do that for me. So they're kind of a stand-in. So if you notice that and don't really like it, I don't really love it either, but it is what it is, and they're kind of a placeholder while I try to find something better. But I do love the fact that it is completely white up front, and once we get done with this video, we'll do a walk around with the new cab lights on, and you'll be able to see that at the same time. All right, so as anyone who's ever installed a set of cab lights knows, the first step to doing this job is to drop your headliner, right? For 2 reasons. The first is obviously so that you do not drill holes through your headliner when you're drilling your holes in your cab for the lights themselves. Obviously that would be a terrible thing. And then secondly, you need access for at least one hand, or if not 2 hands, up inside there so that you can run your wiring. So we're going to drop our overhead console, our visors, our grab handle, our A pillars and our B pillars, so that we can drop at least the front half of this headliner down so we can get access behind it. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'll catch up with you after. Okay guys, so that ended up being a lot bigger job than what I was originally expecting it to be. It probably took me the greater part of an hour, but my headliner is now down. You can see I've got good access up there through all of the holes and such, and I'm not going to be in danger of drilling into it when I drill the holes in the top of the cab. All I can say here, guys, is definitely take your time, right? If you're realizing you're having to pull on something too hard or something like that, that probably means that you're doing it wrong. And in this case, I referenced the video about every couple of minutes to make sure that I was doing it right. Several times I realized I was doing it wrong, and the video came in very, very handy. So all in all, not too bad, but it did take me about 45 minutes to an hour. That's A pillars, B pillars, grab handles, overhead console, visors, everything like that, right? So we are completely down to the point now where this is all completely loose, as you can see, pulled out of the weather stripping and everything like that. So we are ready to mark our holes and start drilling. Okay, so our template comes in one gigantic sheet that we need to cut out the separate sections for our left, center, and right lights. And then we'll have our curved lines that match up at the top of our windshield and the sides of the cab to make sure that we get the right placement. So we'll get all these cut out, taped up there, and we'll verify that they look like they're in the right positions before we start cutting anything. All right, guys, so I'm up here. I was basically going to measure out the center, the perfect center of the windshield, so I could use that as my center point for my cab lights. And I realized that GM actually already did this for us. So I measured out all the way across and then came back to mark the center. And when I got to the center, I realized there's actually a little mark right there already for us. So the more you know, right? So I went ahead and I verified that that is indeed the center of the cab. And I'm just gonna go ahead and use that as my center mark to line up my center template. All right, so all my templates are laid out. And I went ahead and set the cab lights up there. It's obviously hard to get them to lay flat with the cords hanging out of them without any holes. But even so, everything looks to be in the right place. So pretty happy with it so far. There's nothing for it but to start drilling. Guys, so first step of drilling is done. So all of these are drilled to 1/8 of an inch. Here's the left hand light. Here's my center light. And the far side, probably can't really see it. But now these need to be opened up to what they say should be 1.25 inches. Looking at the bottom of the light, that looks to be a little bit bigger than necessary. Looks like it only needs to be about 1 inch. So I'm gonna try that first. It just leaves more material for the nut to hold on to. If I realize I need to go out to 1.25 inches, I will, but I think I can stop at 1 inch. So I'm gonna do that with a step bit, just because this is such thin sheet metal. I would not wanna try to put a 1-inch drill bit down through that without just absolutely mangling the steel around it. So a step bit should do the job quite nicely. All right, guys, so all the holes are drilled. It really wasn't too bad. It's always extremely nerve-wracking when you're drilling holes in your perfectly good cab roof, but this all went really, really well. One thing that I did not do that I should have probably is taped these off, just to make sure there was no extra damage to the top of the cab there from any kind of shavings or anything. Thankfully, nothing really happened here. These all look really nice, really clean, but overall went really, really well. So now we can go ahead and get a light here. We'll thread it down through the hole. And it fits down exactly as it should. So we'll test fit all of them across here and see what it looks like. Okay, so the cab lights are completely mechanically installed, right? So I was pretty anal about it, just making sure that they stayed straight, that everything was square to the front of the truck, so it looks really, really sharp. I could not be happier with it as of right now. So I'll show you how these actually attach quick. Instead of using the square hole and the clips like the OEM ones do, we went ahead and just drilled a larger hole. And we just use, I'm not even sure what to call these collapsing nuts here that just squeeze it against the top of the roof here, right? So having the hole not too oversized, this is why I went 1 inch versus 1.25 inches. It just helps keep everything centered and oriented a lot better, especially on this center one. But overall, I could not be happier. It looks really great. The install was actually extremely easy. All right, guys, so I don't know how well you can see it, but I just finished up getting my wiring harness run. It's all plugged in across it. Once again, it was super easy because the fact it's all plug and play. Run down the A-pillar, down underneath the dash, into the BCM, which you can't really see there, but it is all run in and it's tucked up. Obviously, we need to still get the headliner put up, but before we do that, we've got to try it out. All right, guys, so initial thoughts, I absolutely love these, right? So I obviously opted with the startup sequence, which I have the same startup sequence going on the Luma steps. And so together that looks really, really sweet. And then coupled with all of the rest of the white light in the tow mirrors, also from Boost Auto Parts, and then also with the Morimoto switchbacks in the turn signals, everything is white along with the LEDs and fogs, of course. So when it is all on, it is very, very bright, and it's all just clean white light. And I absolutely love that look. If you can get away from amber in general, that is my preference. And I think it looks just really, really killer together. So I am very, very happy with this so far. And that's where we're going to leave this video, guys. Once again, this was an extremely easy install, right? There's always just a little bit of pain when it comes to installing cab lights. You always have to drill holes in your cab. You always have to drop your headliner, right? That's across the board. However, they made this as absolutely painless as possible. Their installation video was fantastic. The product seems to be fantastic. The harness worked great, just completely plug and play. Made it super simple for me to do. And so, like I say, I've probably done 10 sets of these over the years, and this was hands down the easiest cab light installation that I've ever done. So once again, the link to this is down in the description below to this product itself, and I am not getting paid for that. I'm just telling you that of my own free will. I would highly recommend them as of now. I have zero complaints, nothing but praise for it. As well as I also have the installation video linked down below as well for this specific truck. They obviously make them for other trucks as well. We're going to be putting a set on this truck. They're sitting over on the shelf over here. We'll do that here shortly, but overall I could not be happier. Curious of your thoughts. What do you think? Do you like this? Do you like the color? Should I have gone amber? I don't care what you think about amber. I'm not going to do it, but still love to hear your thoughts. Thanks.